Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Farah Shuhada and I will introduce you to our topic, which is conflict management strategies in negotiations. Conflict is a typical issue in many organizations. While disagreement may boost productivity and lead to new ideas and procedures, it is vital to consider how to negotiate throughout a conflict. Therefore, this is the report of case study based on topic conflict management and strategies in negotiations. The group discussion has been conducted to discuss the facts and issues that related to stated topic in order to complete this report. Conflict negotiation define the form of communication aimed at reaching an agreement that satisfies the concern of parties with conflicting objectives. Dealing with problems in negotiation is common in a variety of circumstances. The situation that involve handling conflicts in negotiation is disputes between employees. Employees may occasionally have disagreements over their tasks or the quality of their work. Many supervisors and managers have the primary responsibility of resolving these problems through conflict negotiation. Therefore, their supervisors or managers must find the solutions in those conflict negotiations. Taking above scenario as an example, the supervisors might use integrative negotiation or win-win approach method to solve the conflict. Both sides meet or beyond their objective in this strategy, which results in a value-creating process. Both sides seek solutions that benefit both, combining their objective into a single strategy. This method also has the added benefit of establishing a favorable bond for future decision. That's all from me. I will pass this to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Naraisa binti Rizali. Today I will present the facts and issues of conflict management in negotiation. The facts is there are 5 styles of conflict management in negotiation. First and foremost, accommodating style. An accommodating conflict management style is used when a party set aside their own wants or needs and focus on those of others. They leave their own concern behind and accommodate for those of someone else. Next, avoiding. An avoiding conflict management style ignores the situation altogether. Either one or both of the people involved in the conflict steer clear of it. In addition, compromising. A compromising conflict management style tries to find a way to partially satisfy people on both sides of the argument. Compromising is done when there is a limited amount of time or when it is more important for a solution to be implemented than for it to be perfect. Moreover, a competing style. A competing style takes a firm stance and refuses to see the perspective of the other parties. They would keep pushing their viewpoint at others or keep rejecting the other party's ideas until they get their way. Last but not least, collaborating. A collaborating style attempts to find a solution that will meet the needs of all parties. Rather than trying to find a middle ground solution, they would aim for a solution that actually satisfies everyone and ends up being a win-win situation. Next, there are also some issues that can lead to conflict, which are different in goals, different in personality, and a lack of communication. In a negotiation, having a goals that are incompatible with one another can result in parties fighting with one another. Therefore, before starting a negotiation, we need to make sure that our goals are the same as those of the other party. Next, the issue is different in personality. Different in personality or personality clash happen when 2 or more people are at odds with each other, not because of a specific problem or event, but because they have different personalities, ways of doing things, or ways of living. Last but not least, the issue is lack of communication. Lack of communication between parties leads to breakdowns and misunderstanding. The more effectively the parties are able to communicate, the more fruitful the negotiation will be.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Miza Umaira and I want to present the key area which problem, concern, interest on conflict and issues. To begin with, problem. So the first point is competition over limited resources and time. For resources, we can see that an organization often competition to distribute of resources such as position, finance, and office equipment. For the time, it's about the seized time of people's free time to complete the task. Furthermore, different in perception, work style, attitude, and communication problem. When a person have different in perception, work style, attitude, so that will have a few people who disagree, unsatisfied, and dislike about that person. Next, the communication problem is most common problem when someone not usually to meet or talk to others, but conflict happen usually is about misunderstanding to person who lack of communication. Lastly is about ambiguity of responsibility and authority. This is due to when a person who not take the responsibility properly and also not use the authority in right way, so the others will unsatisfied about the person and the conflict will happen. Next is concern on conflict and issues. First and foremost, the anger, avoidance, screaming, frustration, fear of failure, and personal feeling of inadequacy. It is about when a person have faced complicated conflict that have give negative effect to that person, such as become angrier, avoid the people, and fear of failure. Other than that, career can be marginalized because a person neglected his career as employee or employer, and also relationship become broken if during the conflict they say things that should not be said to others. Lastly, work patterns are disrupted when have many of conflict happens and make the work become delays. Lastly, the interest on conflict and issue is motivate to work harder to win, mean that the pressure during the conflict can give the person motivate to work hard to win the conflict. Secondly, focus on fundamental issue and lead the solution. Usually conflict happen mostly based on the basic issue, so the parties can focus on that and can lead to solution of conflict. Lastly, increasing clarity about the issue. This is about when everyone give their own opinion, so the clarity increase about the issues.
Assalamualaikum to Dr. Rahman. I am Rashida Akmal binti Muhammad Yusof with metric number P0619100064. Will be presenting about the assessment to case settlement. Actually, there is no specific or optimal method to handle the conflict, but there are 5 methods that can be used, which is number 1, the collaborating. Collaborating is about the win-win solution where the cooperators try to engage with others to come up with a solution that solves all of their concerns, and all parties meet together discussing the issue and devising a solution. To achieve the win-win solution, there are several factors need to be considered, which is the intensity of dispute, the intended outcome, the manager's authority, and individual preferences. Second, competing. Competing is about more to self-centered person, but it is advisable to use in situation requiring immediate action. There are certain skills need to have which to handle the conflict with this method: argumentation and debate, manipulation of rank, opposition, and accurate appraisal of choices or sentiment, and straightforward statements of the stance. Third is accommodating. Accommodating is more to self-sacrifice, but a person that practices accommodating method requires minimal aggressiveness and willingness to cooperate. A person that practice this method aims to maintain the peace and know when to play with their strength. Number 4 is avoiding. Avoiding is require the capacity to disengage, skill to avoid tensions, and awareness in time planning. And lastly, compromising. Compromising is more a peacemaker method where they attempt to reach a compromise by foregoing some of their interests, and one of their method is by accepting a promise when there is a conflict between the different hierarchical level. That's all from my part. Thank you.
Next is strategy chosen for conflict settlement. The first strategy is collaborating. A strategy for resolving the disagreement has been devised, and the leader who puts it into action is seen as knowledgeable. As a result, both parties will engage in a conflict resolution approach in which both sides feel they have gained something and no one will feel they have lost something. The second strategy is competing. Leaders might use this tactic to show their persistence and refusal to compromise in the conflicts discussed before. The third strategy is avoiding. To show their trust in team members, leaders will have them act appropriately and deal with some challenges. Avoidance by leaders might appear ineffectual if he overdoes it, as team members may assume they are incapable of resolving conflicts. The fourth strategy is accommodating. For example, group members will know they may voice their concern without fear of punishment if their leader fosters a reputation as an easygoing personality. The last strategy is compromising. This strategy may be employed by the leader in order to foster agreement, hands-on involvement, and the finding of alternative. Because each party receives something in return, the outcome is often perceived as fair to both parties.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Balkis Ilani binti Azmi, and for my part, I'm going to present the conclusion that we get from this case of study. Firstly, it is important for the person to able to find the issues that occurred during negotiation. The person need to be able of finding the issues that occur in negotiation in order for them to use appropriate strategies in managing conflict. Secondly, it is important to apply suitable strategies because different strategies are required to manage the conflict occurred in order to achieve both parties' goals. It is really important for negotiation to identify the strategies that need to be implemented suitable with the issues that has been taken care of. Last but not least, it is really important for the negotiator to communicate well with each other since communication is important. It is important since both parties need to agree to reach win-win situation. Communicating well will improve the effectiveness of negotiation. That's all from me. Thank you.